You're listening to the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus, changing rock history one podcast at a time. Moms and dads, boys and girls, and children of all ages, welcome back to the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. I am your ring master, your host, your master of ceremonies, if you will, for this wonderful hour that we call the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus, where we bring you great, amazing, incredible insight into the most burning questions that you have about hard rock, heavy metal, punk rock, alternative rock, and anything with rock in it. That's pretty much it. If you want to find out more, go to LoudiniRockandRollCircus.com. Download. Well, there's nothing really to download there, but you can join our Inner Circle group where you will hear us mixing it up with people live on the show today. And that's what that's all about. You can find out about that there. You can get our YouTube archive as well as all of our back interviews. We may be doing interviews in the future if I can get people to actually come on the show and hang out and not just want to play an interview. But we are working on that. So check all that out at LoudiniRockandRollCircus.com, wolfscustoms.online. You want to go there because they have some amazing work that they do on musical instruments. You're doing like great custom finishes, stuff that you're not going to see anywhere else. You're not going to get that guitar back and have the next guy standing next to you look just like it. If you want a very cool stuff, you're a discerning musician, you want your musical instrument to have its own look, its own character, check them out, wolfscustoms.online. Talk to Chris Thunderwolf Dodson, tell him Loudini sent you. And one more thing, we have a piece of business we've got to take care of before we get into the show, and that is rockrageradio.com. You want to download the app there. It is totally free, and you can hear great music programming 24/7, 365 and a quarter. So check it out. There's tons of great shows like the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus, as well as Hot Licks with Lily Six. And speaking of hot licks, we have the lick mistress herself.
There's a new one.
Wow.
The lickstress.
The lickstress.
What's up, guys?
Lily V6. Lily V6, what is going... Lily V6 always does these really interesting things on the weekend. So we haven't talked before the show, so we're going to find out. Did you do like anything crazy this weekend?
Nothing crazy. I did go to a show at Brandy's Basement in Irwin. It was the Perishables, the band Anna, and Anxiety at Best. It was a really great show. It was a mix of different genres. I was hearing rock and metal and surf music, and it was just a whole bunch of fun.
What's the name of the place?
Brandy's Basement.
And what's that like?
It's literally a basement, but they do have a really nice stage area. There's a nice dance floor. Then there's an upper area where you can sit with tables and everything. They have really great food. There's an Italian restaurant upstairs.
And where's it again? Irwin.
It's in Irwin, yeah. Oh. And there's a nice little bar you can
What's
sit
the name
at.
of it again?
Brandy's Basement.
Brandy's
What's it
like? And we also have the incomparable, the irreplaceable, the undeniable Mr. Pittsburgh. Mr.
That's
Pittsburgh,
me.
what's going on?
How yin's doing in that, everybody? How yin's doing?
Would you do anything fun? What's going on?
I sure did. I changed jobs.
Woo!
Yeah.
Okay, you
I'm
went
very,
from,
very happy. So
you went from what?
I went from
rocket science to astronaut.
What? What? Astronauts.
Afronaut.
Stop.
Afro's so big.
I left.
He goes to space.
I go to space, all right. Yeah, I left one restaurant, a big corporate restaurant that just was not treating me well, and ended up going to literally a mom and pop's place that I think I'm going to really enjoy working at. So I'm kind of happy here.
Good stuff.
You don't mind me saying so.
Congrats, yo.
Thank you.
Congratulations on that. I hired somebody who did the exact same thing. She came from a corporate thing to our thing, and every time I say, well, this and that, she's like, really? Wow, really? So, yeah, it's a totally different way of doing things when you go from corporate to sort of family-owned or small business. It's almost always better.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Anyway, so that's cool, Mr. Pittsburgh.
Yes.
Congratulations. Do you want to say where you're working, or you don't?
Yeah, sure. So this place is in Bethel Park, Pennsylvania, on South Park Road. It literally is called Mom and Pop's Country Kitchen.
I love it.
And somebody ate there recently, didn't
I
they?
ate there, and I went Saturday morning and had breakfast with my mom.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And we
nice.
absolutely loved it. It was so good. I
would
need
eat
to go
there.
on Google. I need to go on Google and give them a good review.
Please do. Yeah.
But it was so good. And the plate we pulled up, man, people were parking
yeah.
in the grass on the median and everything. And so we thought, man, are we going to get seated? But they got us in pretty
Heck,
quick.
Yeah.
Nice.
Just mention my name from now on.
And the food was very good. The only thing was we were I've been driving by there my whole life. I never saw that place.
Yeah.
There's one small sign in the window.
Right.
And she was telling us that the landlord won't let them put a big...
That's actually my new job. I'm a sandwich board guy. I stand.
yeah?
That's all I wear,
boy.
by the way. It's going to be
good.
rough during winter, but trust me, people will notice.
Speaking of sandwich boards,
Oh God.
do you remember that scene in the third Die Hard movie?
Yes.
With Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh man.
That's so
Wow.
good.
Yeah. Hopefully
We'll
that
tell
won't.
you, we can't say
That
it.
won't happen to me.
That's not my
hopefully.
bag. Sorry.
No,
guys.
but you'll love the story. Whatever you tell you about, it, you'll
Okay.
think it's funny.
Yeah, it's
It is
hilarious.
a funny scene.
Yes.
So cool.
Yes.
Cool. Lily, I know we usually kind of get to this at the end, but I'm kind of in the market for weekend activity coming up this weekend. So is there any shows or anything that you would recommend?
Well, the one show that I would recommend, but is sold out, is Wasp on Sunday at the Palace.
Wow.
That's definitely something that I'm doing. Leadsmith is actually coming up on the 16th, though. They're a Led Zeppelin, Aerosmith tribute band. Very cool band. I've seen them before. It's actually the guys from Bonneville, so you know them.
And that's going to be where?
That's at Jurgles on the 16th. It's a really good show. Sissy and I went last time they were here. It's phenomenal the way he can just transition from
That's
Steven
cool.
Tyler to Robert Plant. It's nothing.
Nice.
You could when we saw Bonneville, you could tell that that's
Oh,
their,
yeah.
that's
That's
their
their
genre.
stuff, for
That's
sure.
what they're doing. Yeah.
Really great. And then I'm going to go see Amon Amarth in a couple of weeks. It's actually a really busy November for me. So I have a lot of shows coming up. So it'll be more exciting to hear my stories.
I want you guys to think about something while we talk.
Okay.
And then I want to kind of get back to this after we go through the subject, because I don't want to hold this up. I don't want to hold up the podcast for this. But what are we? All these bands are on their final tours.
Yeah.
So what are we gonna do?
I know.
We're going to die. I'm just kidding.
I think about. I'm just kind of wondering, what's going to replace it?
Lou?
What kind of thing will
I
happen?
have an answer for you.
What?
Oh, no.
That answer comes from Gene Simmons himself. Cinnamon Swirl Crunch
Gene Cinnamon?
himself.
Cinnamon Swirl Crunch.
It's going to be franchise bands. So keep.
Wow.
Come on, Bones. I'm trying my hardest over here.
I have to be honest with you. I'm going to be totally honest. If people continue with the mindset we have, he's absolutely right. I could totally look what Foreigner's doing.
Yeah.
Mick Jones comes out and plays half of one song, and nobody even knows who he is.
That's so sad.
There's virtually no
performed.
original members
Yeah.
in that band. But I have an interesting. I'm almost can't wait for my new and notable, because I found this song by this guy who we haven't heard from in many, many years. And you know how Robert Plant has made the best of what he's got?
Yes.
Yeah.
He doesn't try
Voice-wise.
to be the 60s, 70s Robert Plant. He's the 2022 Robert Plant. You know what I
Right.
mean? He takes whatever he's got and he does, he makes the most of it. He sounds really
Sure.
good.
Yes.
That is exactly what this gentleman is doing too. And it's like, dang. You're like, I don't know if it's great or not, but I really respect what he's doing. So we're going to talk about that later. So let's go ahead. We're talking about our Mount Rushmore
Yeah.
of rock.
Yeah.
Now, if this goes well, you can probably expect a Mount Rushmore of glam metal, a Mount Rushmore of thrash, Mount Rushmore of 70s,
Sure.
Mount Rushmore
I see
of
where you're doing.
80s
Yeah.
top 40.
Yes.
All the things.
We could carry this on as a series.
That would be
Okay.
fun.
Just
Yeah.
maybe every few months revisit this idea and have some fun with it. But what I want to do is before we get completely into, let's talk about what Mount Rushmore is. Now, there are people I know that are not in the United States that may not know what Mount Rushmore is.
There are people in the United States that
Truth.
don't know.
I would highly recommend the movie North by Northwest.
Yes.
It features Mount Rushmore heavily in it, and it's also a great movie. But Mount Rushmore. Mount Rushmore.
I like that.
Mount Rushmore is in South.
drink to that.
Is in South Dakota. It's a giant mountain that was carved with busts or heads of our biggest rock stars of the founding of our country. Like each one of these guys marks some big change in what we arrived at as a nation. George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, Teddy Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln.
Right.
And they all presided over really important times. And while the effects of their actions are felt not only nationwide, but I mean in the sense that the United States is a world power, worldwide, in the broader sense. So picking the Mount Rushmore of rock, we need to kind of keep in mind what Mount Rushmore means. And I mean, we want to pick the artists and the bands that really, laid out what it was going to be for everybody else going down the road. The bands that to this day you can go like, oh yeah, I can hear they're playing. Oh, I can hear they're influenced by. Oh yeah, I can hear whatever. So that's where we want to go. We're going to break it up. We're going to do artists first, and then we're going to do bands.
That's a good thing I'm here.
And I have to say, I am still not completely decided on my bands.
Right.
My artists were hard arrived at. I don't want to say I put any of these folks down lightly. I put a lot of deliberation into this process because I wanted to talk about the guys that I thought was really important. So I'm, as always, though, we are going to start with Lily. So
Always.
Lily, go ahead.
Are we doing the individuals first?
We're going to do the individuals
individual.
first. So
Okay.
just give us one,
Okay.
and please say why you
Okay.
think.
Ooh,
Don't
all
just
right.
say somebody's name. Joe Schmo.
Oh, he's wonderful.
Oh, I don't know him. Anyway, I chose Freddie Mercury as one of my picks for the individuals. He is like one of the greatest singers in rock and roll. He had such a unique voice. He could have the 4-octave vocal range. I mean, he was just amazing and very flamboyant and fun on stage, and he commanded the audience. So that is why he's one of my picks.
That's fantastic. That's a good one.
Thank you.
That's a good one.
Dawson Gordon and Nanya.
What? Wow.
Now
Wow.
I'm afraid, and I'm going to sit over here.
Don't. Lou will be like, you said it, Bones. Lou will be like Lincoln over there by himself.
Right?
Yeah.
With the
Now we
Lincoln,
understand the other guys.
I've been thinking. So, okay, good pick, Miss Lily.
Yes,
Lily V6
yes.
is coming out swinging with Freddie Mercury.
Freddie Mercury.
Mercury.
I like the way you spell
What do you got, Miss
So,
Pittsburgh?
so my first one, and you may have this fella on your list, and that would be the incomparable, the man who changed, again, the way we looked at guitars, and that would be Mr. Edward Van Halen. Eddie, so, and I don't think, well, maybe it is just because we grew up in that era, and that's what we grew up listening to, but man, when Eddie came on the scene and an eruption hit the airwaves, it was like nothing we had heard or seen since Somebody Else, which we'll discuss later.
Yeah.
Yes, but and you know what? When
I'm just teasing. I'm being an asshole. Good.
why are you being an
I
asshole?
know, because I was born that way.
Okay,
I
lady.
didn't work. I was born an asshole.
Yeah.
And but I'm still working on it my whole life. So
That's
both.
great. Well, you've got a
Both.
lot of. That's very
Both.
good.
I mean, I figured so I should take my talent,
Yes.
and expand on it.
I think you are absolutely correct.
My assholery should
Ass-
no bounds,
asshole.
Mr. Pittsburgh.
Right on.
Continue.
My
I'm sorry, Mr.
That's
Edward
fine.
Van Halen.
Yes, Edward Van Halen. This guy changed the whole way we looked at guitars to the point where, if you listen to some Heart songs, you're going to hear some hammer-ons and pull-aways. The song from Flashdance has some Eddie Van Halen influences. Was it Maniac? That's from a movie. It's kind of a disco-y kind of, and there he is. So that is my first pick, Mr. Edward Van Halen.
Edward Van Halen is most certainly on my list, and I'm just going to go ahead and talk about him.
Sure.
And when you hear the other picks on my list, you're going to go like, I promise you, it's not all like long-haired metal guys. I promise you, it's not. It's not prog guys. I think it's just solid picks. But Edward Van Halen is on my list for all the reasons that Mr. Pittsburgh mentioned, as well as the fact that whether you like Van Halen, if you're a guitar player, whether you like Van Halen or not, you're influenced by Van Halen. I'm sorry, you absolutely are. Have you ever heard something called, the guitar players, everybody else, you can go have a cup of coffee. You know what high gain is? There was no such thing as high gain until Edward Van Halen invented it. All right? The Tube Screamer is not high gain. I'm sorry. Rongo Mongo. He invented high gain. High gain is the reason you have everything that came out. High gain is the reason you have Motley Crue and Metallica and Pantera and Zakk Wylde and System of a Down and Nickelback and every band that plays the big chunky rock and roll guitar. That is Van Halen. You do not have that without Van Halen. Sorry. Game over. Okay? On top of that, the Floyd Rose tremolo system became ubiquitous through the 80s, and guess what? There's a resurgence of it. Even Paul Reed Smith, who swore he would never put a fucking Floyd Rose on any of his goddamn guitars, has a line of guitars with a Floyd Rose on it.
He's a dirty liar.
Yes. Eddie Van fucking Halen.
Thank you.
He is in many ways King of King and Lord of Lords of guitar. While I'm not saying he's the greatest guitarist to ever live. I'm not saying that. No. But I'm talking about influential. There's probably some kid over here on Gladden playing in his basement that smokes Eddie Van Halen. But he's in his basement over on Gladden Avenue. He's not changing the world. Eddie Van Halen changed the fucking world. Yeah. Because of Eddie Van Halen, you have so much things that you don't even realize you had. He also invented a bunch of other things. I mean, he has his own amplifier that is highly regarded by guitar players. And, a lot of guys feel like their studio isn't complete unless they have a 5150 amplifier. Just recording technique. In many ways, he is the kind of second coming of Les Paul in a way.
Yeah.
With all the sort of inventions and everything that he did, and wrote some of the most insanely iconic riffs. We forget that.
See.
We totally forget that, come on, right here.
Do it, Lou.
I'm just going to do one.
Can't even help himself.
I know. Please.
If
Visual aids.
If this was all he ever did, I can't play it.
See how good Ed was?
Listen to that. I destroyed it.
Yeah.
I ruined
It's
it.
okay.
But if you guys get the point, Eddie's riffs are, his riffs are as iconic as Jimmy Page's riffs or Tony Iommi's riffs or Richie Blackmore's riffs. Sure. I mean, just maybe even more.
Yeah.
Because it's just a massive impact that Eddie's Van Halen specifically, had on the guitar, the music business, everything. Just absolutely amazing musician and highly influential. I think I've said everything I can say about it.
For now.
Yes.
If you don't get my point, then
you know what you can do with yourself.
So anyway, Lily V6, what you got? What's on your
my
next? What's the next one?
Next on my list is Jimi Hendrix.
Ooh.
He only had a 4-year career span, yet he was one of the most influential guitarists of all time, of all popular music of all time. Also one of the most celebrated. If you don't know anything he does, that's just sad. You can go hide under the rock you came from.
You know what you can do with yourself.
Exactly. And the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame described him as arguably the greatest instrumentalist in the history of rock music. He was a great showman as well, which is a big part of why I chose a lot of the guys.
He came by it legitimately.
Yeah.
He was in Little Richard's band.
Right.
Yeah.
Little Richard, there's a story about Little Richard chewing his ass out because he was upstaging him. There's a story about that. I can't remember.
We told it once, but I can't remember all the ins and outs of it.
I think it might have been Springsteen said that like he was backstage and he wanted to go. Maybe it was Springsteen. Who? What? No. It was one of the guys in Cream. It was either Ginger Baker or Jack Bruce or one of those guys said that they had gone to see Little Richard, and like Jimi was amazing, and so he wanted to go backstage and meet Jimi, and he says there was a scuffle backstage, and it was Little Richard like screaming at Jimi Hendrix, telling him like, "Don't you ever upstage me again?" I am.
Wow.
It just comes naturally, man. Sorry.
Yeah. You can't, this little light of mine, right? So what do you got, Mr. Pittsburgh?
So we had talked about this when we were discussing this topic, that we're going to overlap. And when we overlap, those people that overlap will become the Loudini
Rock and
Roll Circus, right?
Mount Rushmore.
And so I'm going to overlap with my good friend here and say Jimi Hendrix.
Nice.
And tell you how I first... Now, I had known, growing up as a kid, I think I got my first real 6-string, bought it from JCPenney in 79. And so I'm trying to...
bought it to 5 and dime.
No, it was JCPenney. I want to
Summer
keep it
69.
factually accurate.
Summer of
Clink
96.
to that, huh? But I remember like trying to, and this is long before YouTube or any of these things where you could learn. You had Mel Bay. What the fuck am I going to do with when the Saints go
The
marching
little brown
in, right?
jug.
And I'm in my bedroom, and I've got this little black and white TV.
Wait a minute, where's this going?
And I was watching some videos. I don't even know what the TV show was, but they brought up Jimi Hendrix. It's the first time I'd actually seen any kind of footage of Jimi, because he's gone by this point. And it was one of the festivals he was doing, and he gets up there, and I'm just watching this TV going, how? How is he? He's like barely touching the guitar, yet all these
butter.
wonderful sounds are coming out, and I'm like, wow, it really inspired me. So my next pick is Lily's last pick, Jimi Hendrix.
Jimi
Hendrix.
Hendrix.
Yes,
Oh, dear
yes.
Lord. Help us all.
The afro with the momo.
Really?
I don't know. I just made it
Oh
up.
my.
Jimi Hendrix is on my list as well.
Yeah.
There it is.
I don't think you. I mean, like any self-respecting person would have Jimi Hendrix on this fucking list. For all the reasons these guys said, great songwriter as well. Mm-hmm. Great interpreter. Like, you know, he does a Bob Dylan song. Like, how they say, you know, his version though is like a lot of people have done all along the Watchtower. Hendrix's version, you always get compared to Hendrix's version. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, that's
the standard.
Yeah, that's the standard. Yeah. He is, I would say, Eddie Van Halen is the second most influential guitarist of all time. Jimi Hendrix is the first.
Definitely.
The first.
Yes.
Hendrix just, I mean, you know, Eddie Van Halen high gain, Hendrix fuzz. Like, yes, I know Keith Richards used the fuzz on the Satisfaction song.
Yeah.
But the guy who really made everybody want to buy a fuzz pedal was Jimi Hendrix, and what he could do and all the sounds he could make. And to this day, there's speculation about exactly what he was doing. Was he really doing this, or was he really doing this? Because some of the sounds he got, people still don't really understand. He would, you know, everybody would go home, and this is the other guys in the Experience. They were not happy about this, but Hendrix would replay their parts. And yeah, to his liking,
man. Yeah.
he in a lot of ways is like Stevie Wonder, who plays all the instruments. Prince,
Right.
you know, these guys
Right.
just go in and just can play. Even Dave Grohl,
Right.
you know, has done
Has
that
gone back
as
and
well.
redone it, yeah.
So just disgustingly and like real forward thinking, wanted to do stuff with the studio and tape and things that like nobody had really ever thought to do. Again, kind of like Les Paul. You could tell he likes to tinker.
Right. Right.
There, you know, boys always played. And I'm getting in trouble, but like I'm old fashioned. I'm in my 50s, so you have to give me this one.
Yeah.
The boys, what did we like? We liked the Rector set. We liked the Legos.
Sure.
We liked the
log. Just a single log.
What was that?
Just one log.
Tinker Toys.
Oh yeah, Tinker Toys too.
So like anything where we could build stuff or make things, and why should a musician be any different?
Right.
There's and these aren't the only. There's a lot of guitar players. This would be a fun podcast. It would be like 6 people would listen, but the top 10 tinker guitarists, guys that played around with the all the tweaking this around until it was all screwed up, and then they would redo it.
Yeah.
But that's a thing, and Hendrix really kind of like
got that going.
Yeah, he kind of got that going.
Yeah.
You had to play around with you. Take this neck off and put that. There's a 5-watt World that just came out this week. I should have this on my YouTube moment, where it's about the black Strat, David Gilmour's.
Oh
black
yes,
Strat.
yeah.
And
Gee whiz.
there's a good example. David Gilmour's the same kind of guy. Take this. I'll put these pickups in here. And before you know what the fuck you got. But that is part of the fun of guitar, and Hendrix really kind of like got that going for people. But his music, I mean, John Mayer is trying to be Jimi Hendrix. You know what I mean? Like they're all like, to this day, I mean, all these years later, you got guys that are like big pop stars that like, no, Jimmy, he's the man.
Yeah.
So in terms of like that, just sheer talent, but also this staying power and this ability to influence across genres and generations is like really puts him on the list for me. So
Good.
we're having fun. This is
All
cool.
right.
What do you got,
I
Lily?
like it.
Next on my list is John Bonham. And
Ooh.
there is not one drummer personally that I know who does not cite this guy as an influence in their life. All the drummers I know love John Bonham. If it's not John Bonham, it's Neil Peart, but I don't have him on my list. He's known for speed, power, the single-footed kick drumming. He had a distinctive sound, and he was just insane on the stage. So that's my pick because of all of that.
When people started sampling figured out how to sample sounds, one of the things they did was sample John Bonham's drums, specifically his snare. And there was an article in Musician Magazine in like 1984 about like how many records John Bonham is still playing.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of, I wasn't thinking in the way you were thinking about this topic, but that is a totally legitimate. I could totally see, him being on the Mount Rushmore of rock. Just, I mean, like there's.
I just did the same thing.
Insanely influential, more approachable than Neil Peart. Neil Peart's like nipping at his heels.
Yeah.
But John's just like, he's more approachable in terms of the fact that what he does works in more contexts.
Right.
But I think that's a great pick. Cool, Lily. Cool. What do you got, Mr. Pittsburgh?
Well, I hate to copy people, but I was thinking about drummers, and I'm like thinking, well, okay, I'm a Rush fan.
It's a good point. You guys are good. I didn't think about it.
I picked one of each, actually.
Yeah, that's what I tried to do too. I don't have a vocalist though, but I'm like, you know what? I love Neil. Neil's. What are you like cheersing yourself over there? Cheersing yourself? Attaboy. So I'm like, all right, I'm not going to pick Neil because that's kind of people expect that. I'm like, all right, who else has something that like their drumming just reaches out and grabs you? And it was John Bonham. I'm going to have to go with John Bonham myself.
Mr. Pittsburgh. Oh, I already
You already
did.
That's what. So you already knew.
He already knew.
You knew. You know me so well. There you go.
All right.
Yes.
My next one is not John Bonham.
No?
But I will, when we try to do our Mount Rushmore as a group, I will try to concede. I could totally concede one of mine for John Bonham.
Okay.
Absolutely. I think that's a great pick.
Okay.
Sure.
Mine is a different man named John.
Oh.
Well, of course.
Yes.
John Lennon.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
What I was thinking of Hendrix kind of screws it up, but I was thinking of guys from different eras.
Okay.
And not so much different instruments or whatever. But of course, John Lennon, the fucking Beatles. Like there has to be a Beatle on the list.
Yeah.
I actually, my first thing was going to have John Lennon and Paul McCartney on it together. But then like it becomes like, you know what I'm saying? We're going to be talking about something. Oh, I can't wait to tell you guys. I have something really good to tell you guys later about upcoming podcast. Nice. Oh, this is going to fuck your minds.
Really?
Your minds are going to, you guys out there in podcast land, your minds are going to explode when you hear about this podcast we're going to do. Anyways, but John Lennon, the Beatles, just amazing songwriter. It's a great singer in his own right. Just a great musician. I mean, John fucking Lennon. Yes. I don't know if I even need to justify it.
Probably not.
Say anything, you know. But I just felt like there's no way we can do this without having a Beatle on it on the list. Mm-hmm. So okay, Lily's got. We're now okay. We're over to number 4, last one.
So this is my bass player because I picked one from each instrument.
Click on Lily's. You're on me right now.
Oh,
that's okay.
That's
now this one,
all right.
I don't know. I picked it because I feel like he's a very influential bass player. I think he's amazing. Is Billy Sheehan.
Oh.
He's been with Steve Vitalis, David Lee Roth, Mr. Big, the Winery Dogs, MerCury. He's been bass player for several bands. He's fantastic. He's known for his lead bass playing style, the chording, two-handed tapping, three-finger picking, technique, and controlled feedback. And he's been voted the best bass player by several magazines, several years in a row. And I just think he's fantastic. I got to see him live twice.
Nice.
I'd like to see him live some more, but I
saw him live twice too.
Nice.
I saw him with Mr. Big and with the Winery Dogs.
Mr. Big, and I saw him with Talis. Okay. So I was very lucky in that. So he's my bass player on my.
I think Billy Sheehan's amazing. I disagree with him as being on the Mount Rushmore of rock, but I think he's an amazing musician. Okay. Absolutely, I wouldn't put him up there. Like you got to think who's on Mount Rushmore.
I know
George Washington, like really important dudes.
There's a lot of bass players I don't like.
You know, so I don't know if I would.
It's all good.
I mean, fuck the bass, man. God damn it. Why you got to put goddamn bass guitar? I'm just kidding.
Well, because they need to be on.
I'm just jagging you guys. I'm jagging your wires.
Come on
you know
now.
who I'm going to pick if we do hair metal.
Okay, what do you have?
Well, Lily and I share the same brain. We were kind of almost. I don't have a vocalist, but I was kind of trying to build my own band, kind of.
There's Hendrix sings.
Huh?
Hendrix sings.
Sure, he does.
He could sing in this band.
That's true. There you go. So I was thinking of bass players for my last one, and I'm like, man, there's so many. You've got Chris Squire, you've got Jocko, but I had, and I'm sorry, I know this is going to be, you're going to be like, oh, of course Kevin picks this guy. Geddy Lee.
I knew you were going to pick that.
Yeah, Geddy Lee. Geddy Lee, just the way he is like all over that bass.
Well, I didn't pick him.
His mom thinks he's quite handsome.
Well, so do a lot of guys' moms.
Wow. All right. But yeah, Geddy was actually a big influence in the way I play. I would learn to like do these little fills, and I'm like, oh, that's how Geddy gets. All right, I get it. So that is going to be my last pick for individual on the Mount Rushmore, Geddy Lee. Lou, it's your turn.
It's Lily's turn.
Okay, well, this last one was a toss-up between two people.
Oh,
I really was like Elvis. Like, we got to have Elvis on this. We absolutely have to have Elvis.
That's true.
But I thought, I have been saying for years that the real king of rock and roll is Chuck Berry.
That is true.
And so Chuck Berry
there you go.
is my man.
I'm going to have to agree with you there.
Chuck Berry. He was on my second, because I do have a second one, individual artist list too.
Wow, look at you. Well, more podcasts.
But I just think that, like, you got to, everybody, the songwriting, I just rewatched Hail, Hail, Rock and Roll about a month or so ago.
Did you? Yeah.
And where Springsteen talks about his songwriting.
Yeah, Chuck, man. I played for Chuck Berry. Yeah, man. What was that like, Grandpa? Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. I remember that.
But he talks about some of Chuck's lyrics, and I guess Chuck has a lyric where he references a coffee-colored Cadillac, and he said, "Oh man!" And Springsteen says, "I never saw a coffee-colored Cadillac, but I know exactly what it looks like."
Exactly.
Yep. Just like he's just a great musician. We don't have Hendrix and Eddie Van Halen, and we don't have John Lennon without Chuck Berry.
Right.
John Lennon, my God.
We don't have
he was
a lot of
huge.
people.
He was hugely influenced by Chuck Berry. He
Very
loved
much so,
Chuck
yeah.
Berry.
Yeah.
Loved him. There was like
He loved them a long time.
The Beatles like covered Chuck Berry. They got sued by Chuck Berry,
And they
didn't
still
care.
loved them.
They still didn't care.
Yeah.
Keith Richards got punched in the face by Chuck Berry.
Right.
Still loved
Didn't
him.
care. Yeah.
Made a movie about him.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I think that we have a stiff competition here.
That's Steph.
But let's go with podcast. So we could Jimi Hendrix right away.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Eddie Van Halen, I believe, would have to go on there too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's just be real.
Eduardo VAnhAlEn.
I know it's not evenly distributed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now we have two guitar players, but I mean, Jesus.
Doesn't
I mean,
matter.
It's
you know what I
okay.
mean? You gotta have.
There's no rules at Loudini Rock and Roll Circus, man.
I will concede at John Bonham.
You will
Because,
concede him?
I mean,
Oh, you to get him in?
yeah, I will get him
Okay.
in. I will give up
All
one
right.
of mine to get him in. But
Okay.
I mean, like, you really, you know, the drum. What can you say about the? I mean, we have representing guitars. The drums are really just like we said. So many drummers are influenced by. I mean, is there any? Well, I'm sure there's drummers out there that don't like John Bonham. You know, there's bass players that don't like Geddy Lee. There's guitar players that don't like Eddie Van Halen.
That's true.
True.
You know, Jeff Mazzy.
We're not naming any names, though.
So we're gonna put John as
All
our
right.
third John.
All right. Now.
If I had to choose a fourth, it'd be Chuck. But that's just me.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, because there's some really good ones here.
Well, since you're choosing Chuck, I'm choosing Chuck. I thought it was a toss-up between John Lennon and Chuck Berry. It's sad that we don't have a Beatle, but
Well, there's still the band.
well,
Mount
wait a
Rushmore,
minute.
right?
Rock and roll is essentially an American art form. Well, John
Oh.
Bonham's British.
Yeah.
All right.
I see what you were trying to do there. though.
Yeah, but no, John Bonham's British. I thought for a second we had all Americans. We don't.
Mr. Chairman, the great state of confusion will also vote for Chuck Berry.
Okay.
I'm going
Chuck
to vote
it
for
is.
Chuck also.
Chuck it is.
All right, Chuck. Of course, now we have to pay the Chuck Berry estate because that's how he rolls.
If you want me to be on your Mount Rushmore,
$50,000 in a brown paper bag.
yeah. in the documentary about that movie
God, I love that documentary.
is just as entertaining as the movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they tell all these stories about how they
Behind
had to
the
work
scenes.
with Chuck. And one of the things was like they had negotiated like monies and everything for him, and he was going to get points and everything, but he would not come to the set until a paper bag full of cash
Yeah.
was delivered to his trailer.
That's
Yeah.
so funny.
Yep.
They were
love
like,
it.
Chuck, like you're going to get.
You already
No,
have.
I'm
you've
sorry,
given-
I
Nope.
don't. You know,
That's how he works.
That's how it rolls.
If you want me to play, you gotta pay. It's all about the money, honey. And that is a quote from Chuck. It's all about the money, honey. God bless him.
If you've never seen Hail Hail Rock and
You
Roll,
gotta
you
watch
should,
it.
You should watch it.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's really it's
Definitely.
a fun movie. So I think there we go.
Nice.
And boom goes the dynamite on the artists. Now
Yes.
we're gonna jump into bands.
Here we go.
And again, we want to just keep in mind, like, who are the bands that, like, wow, everybody, you know, whether you love them or hate them, really, they just changed everything.
Right,
So,
right.
all right, so we'll start again with Miss Lily.
Lovely.
I couldn't fight this one. My pick is the Beatles. They are one of the most influential bands in rock and roll, starting in the '60s. They are even influential in their clothing, their hairstyles. They dabbled in all kinds of styles: folk, Indian, psychedelia, hard rock,
That's great.
traditional pop music. Pioneers in recording, songwriting, artistic presentation. They revolutionized even music videos. So
Right.
they are all around.
You take a song like Helter Skelter, I mean, metal bands cover that. I
Right.
mean, that's,
Yes.
you know, and the way it's done with that type of vocal and the really
Right.
kind of cranked up guitars and everything, it is the kind of beginning of heavy rock right there, you know.
I mean, there's hundreds of bands that cite them as an influence. Hundreds.
And again, this is one of those bands that, like, even if you say, "Oh, I hate the Beatles," right? You're in
You
for
can't
sorry you
deny
are.
it.
Everybody's influenced by the Beatles.
That's right.
Just like "Suck It Up, Buttercup."
Yeah, Buttercup.
Just like y'all is influenced by Chuck Berry, Jimi Hendrix, and Eddie Van Halen, whether you like it or not.
That's right.
The Beatles are on my list for all the same reasons. I mean, you can't; they're inescapable.
Right.
It's just, you know,
Exactly.
I mean, they're ubiquitous with rock music.
Ubiquitous. They could use both hands.
Synonymous with.
They could use both hands.
Wow.
They can use.
They're
all the
ubiquitous.
That's ubiquitous.
Oh, you. I learned so much here
Help
on
me.
the podcast. Sorry.
Send
Lil.
help.
All right, Lixtress. Good pick.
Yes.
Good pick. But yeah, the Beatles. You have to say that's why I was really like trying to crowbar in a Beatle in my. I was actually had Paul McCartney and John Lennon. I think I said it before.
yeah.
Just because like you could. Well, whatever. The Beatles.
Whatever.
The
Whatever.
Beatles. That's why this day in music, like half of that is about
You're
the
right.
fucking
What the
Beatles.
Beatles did today.
Okay, so that is so Lily and I are kind of together on that. What do you got, Mr. Pittsburgh?
So my entry into what the Beatles did today, the Beatles today got onto the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus, Mount Rushmore, because that's my pick also. So they're in.
Yeah.
Congratulations, boys.
I don't know what you can say.
Yeah, right? Congratulations, boys,
It's the fucking Beatles.
on this day in 2022.
Wow.
There are people that hate the Beatles.
A lot of
What?
people hate the Beatles. It's so sad.
I think it's like the kind of context in which they probably heard the music, or maybe their parents were beating them while they were listening to the Beatles.
Or maybe people are just over it. I don't know.
Maybe they stupid.
Stupid.
I can understand if something was like shoved down your throat, where
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
there's a lot of people that kind of like get a backlash against stuff, And I've
Rush.
been on that bandwagon too, where stuff that was so insanely popular, I was like, please, like eye roll, like please, I'm so over this, and find even if it was like good, I would find a reason why it sucked. Because I was just
Right, you're just-
over it.
yeah,
I'm just
no.
done. Shut up. You're I think too when people like get like too too worshipy about stuff,
Yeah.
And I
Yep.
can understand maybe during Beatlemania when maybe people looked at like girls the way they acted and stuff like that. There could have been a lot of people who were kind of turned off,
Yeah.
by that. I could understand that. But yeah, the Beatles.
There you go.
All right, Lily, what do you got?
Well, I didn't pick any others because we were just picking one, but I'll go with Led Zeppelin for my second pick.
It has to be 4 bands.
Well, I thought we were doing just one band each after that because it's 4 people most of the time in a band. But Led Zeppelin for, I guess, sort of the
Led
same
Zeppelin.
reasons.
Yeah, you can't spell it, can you?
Is that right?
Close enough.
I used to spell it wrong too when I was younger.
Yeah, I still can.
For almost the same reasons. They were so influential, even their clothing and hair became a thing in the 70s. So, music, like I said, John Bonham. Everybody loves him as a drummer. Well, most people do. All the drummers I know.
Yes.
Led Zeppelin was my next pick too.
Yeah. Jimmy Page wearing that guitar
like
so low.
that and the songs. I mean, and they're another band that like so many. Even the band Train has released a Led Zeppelin tribute album.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like you can go to a concert.
Oh man.
And hear like it'd be some band, like some great rock band, and invariably they're gonna whip out some cover of a Led Zeppelin song, like just. And those are the riffs that like went on to inspire like they inspired a lot of bands in the glam metal.
Oh, yes.
A lot of bands
yeah.
are really,
Oh, yes.
really White Snake, and a lot of bands like really were trying to be the second coming of Led Zeppelin for sure.
Yeah.
And then you get into the 90s and you got bands like Soundgarden and Stone Temple Pilots are like obviously listening to other things too, but Led Zeppelin for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you get into this decade and you've got people like Jack White, or Jack Black.
Yeah, both of them,
Jack
why not?
White.
Jacks.
I
Yeah,
get
yeah.
the Jacks mixed up.
Jack in the Box. Oh yeah, they're all out
The
there.
Rival Sons. I mean, and you can go down the line all the way to
Sure.
what's the girls. The latest band,
Jeez.
Greta Van Fleet.
Greta, yeah.
There's all these people that are.
Which one's Greta?
Exactly.
Which
By
one's
the
Van
way,
Fleet?
which one's
The one standing next to Hootie. All right, there you go.
So I would say Led Zeppelin
yes.
for sure.
Sure.
And what do you have?
So I was listening. I told you I got on that little JJ Gray thing today on Spotify, and a group came up, and damn it, I wish I would have. I may have saved it. I don't know, but it was a Whole Lot of Love riff, but it was Folsom County Blues sung to it. Have you heard that song?
I don't know if
It's I don't want to say
it's not
bluegrass.
it's not Dred Zeppelin, is it?
No,
Okay.
no, it was very bluegrassy rock kind of, But I'm like, oh, that's the Led Zeppelin. Right? And then all of a sudden, I'm like, I hear the train a-coming. And it fit perfectly. I'm like, damn it. But that just shows you right there the power of my next pick. And let's put them up there. Led Zeppelin.
Wow, we're 3 for 3.
Leave that crap, kids.
This can't go on. What will happen next?
Oh, I'm scared.
Why do I have to be the leader on it? It scares me.
Because we look up to you.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
Follow the leader. She's on a Honda.
Do you remember that?
I've had enough.
Lily doesn't remember that.
Yeah, oh, that was.
Yeah, she might
I remember
be
this
too young for
commercial.
that one.
That's 70s, dude. Mm-hmm. I tell you, I had a guy bring a 79 Honda CCV in.
Really?
And it is in sweet condition.
Wow.
I mean, it's not showroom condition, but it's like
But
there's
he
no,
took
there's
care of
no
it.
rust, nothing.
Nice.
It's all original. Fucking
Very
sweet as
good.
shit. Go ahead.
All right, Lils.
Van Halen.
Oh, I like where
You're doing
you
it on the
went.
wrong thing.
I know. He does. Well, no, Lou, put it on the right one.
Oh.
Maybe I don't have Van Halen.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. But Van Halen's going to be on my list.
sorry.
I only picked the one, so my reasons are because Eddie mostly.
Okay,
But
that's
who wouldn't want to
Lil,
see his smiling face up on Mount Rushmore?
That's right. Right. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
All right, good in the yard.
Yeah, I didn't want to see that. Would have been like an obvious one for me because I had picked Eddie and stuff like that. So I'm like, all right, here's a band that I really didn't, in the Beatles and this band contest, I always used to pick the Beatles until I figured out this next band and I realized where they were coming from, and that would be the Rolling Stones.
Nice.
Yes.
Good pick.
Yes. Once I realized where their influences came from, I'm like, oh, I get it now. And I appreciate them so much more.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
I want to say Van Halen,
But you're not
really
gonna.
bad. I have to say the Rolling Stones.
Okay.
Oh, all right then.
Because without the Rolling Stones, listen, follow this.
I'm ready.
Okay, talk to me, Goose.
Without the Rolling Stones, you don't have Aerosmith.
Right.
Without Aerosmith, you don't have Guns N' Roses.
Oh my God, yeah.
Like, those are some of the biggest rock that ever fucking happened.
Yeah.
And you don't have the Black Crowes. I
No.
miss the Black Crowes in
Yeah,
there
don't
too. You don't get the Black Crowes. There's all this music that doesn't happen because you don't have the Rolling Stones. The Rolling Stones put that thing. I don't know what that.
Where'd they put that thing,
It's
Lou?
like it's this
Where'd they put it?
swagger or something that they. Zeppelin's got a certain way of doing it, but Zeppelin does it in a heavier rock way. Stones kind of can get a little heavy and they can get a little light. And they have a country song that everybody loves. I mean, it's like criminy. Like I don't know what you can say. That Exile on Main Street is considered like one of the greatest albums of all time.
Yes.
They have their, what was it in the 60s? The Beatles and the Stones, like the Beatles
Exactly.
and the Stones, neck and neck. They were like in competition. So I got to go with the Rolling Stones.
Wow, you guys
right,
are such dorks.
Shut up.
I love the Rolling Stones.
I love the Rolling Stones. Great band. And again, successful across multiple decades.
Mm-hmm.
They even had that, they had that song about the, lockdown that they put out, and it kind of got everybody.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
a couple
this
years
town or something. Or
Yeah,
about this town being.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it was a cool song.
Yep.
So they're able to find some way, and when they can't feel like they're relevant, they release the blues album, which is one of the best. Did you hear that album?
I've heard it.
It is.
Yeah,
Look,
Well,
man,
holy
it
shnikes.
puts to shame a lot of blues music that is out. Today, a lot of blues music out today is so fucking overproduced and has no fucking soul.
Right.
This sounded like four guys who really meant what they were playing, who really loved and understood this music in a really deep way. They had was really in their souls. So I got to go with the Rolling Stones.
Very good.
Even though there's other bands that I like maybe better personally, I got to go with the Rolling Stones.
Okay.
So, all right. Now, so we only got two on that one.
Okay.
Now, what's Lily gonna
What's
say?
Lily gonna pick?
What's Lily gonna pick?
I'm gonna pick one that a lot
Don't do it! Don't say it! I can't stand it!
No.
that people sometimes don't like, but a lot of people do.
Creed.
No.
Nickelback.
This is about 50-50.
That'd be hilarious.
This is about 50-50.
The Nitty Gritty Dirt Band.
And some people don't like their songs, and some people think
I know
they
which
suck.
one you're doing. I know
Come
which
on,
one you're
baby.
doing.
Do it.
But
Say
they're
it.
marketing geniuses.
Come on, baby. Say it.
And they're Kiss.
You want the best. You got the best.
That's a good one.
I mean, for real, like the guys are just, they're marketing geniuses. They did what other people couldn't do. They sold invisible guitar strings to Kiss fans.
Yeah, well, air guitar.
Air guitar. We saw that.
Brilliant.
And whether you love them or whether you hate them, they are influences on the rock world. I don't care if you think they suck. I love them still.
Wow.
There is a part of me that says that's a good pick.
Yeah.
That like we kind of have to go with that.
Yeah. It kind of makes me think.
You know, I see a total justification for it.
Wow.
I feel like I can't, in good conscience, vote for it, but
okay.
I do understand. I absolutely get where you're coming from.
Wow.
I really do. I absolutely get where you're coming from. I think it's a great pick. I'm not sure if it would be mine, but I'm not next. Mr. Pittsburgh is next.
Man. Man, I mean, I have one in mind, but jeez, she came out of left field, and it's really making me think.
It's hurting your brain.
It is.
It's okay.
All right,
I
look,
understand.
because we could always vote it down or up, my next one. and yeah, everyone sees this one coming. Is Lily rolling her eyes yet? No. I'm going to have to pick the band that is very influential in a lot of modern prog rock bands. And that would be
Gentle Giant.
from Toronto, Canada, Rush.
I always spell Rush with all capital letters.
Of course, that's
I think that's the way it's spelled. Isn't
yes. Every time I
You
spell
just
out
do it out of
Jesus, I
fucking
do.
respect.
Yeah.
it? You have to do it right, even if you don't like them. Here's the thing.
You call him Dr. Jones.
This is like, this is the one that was pounded in my brain constantly from my ex-husband, which is why I don't like them. I never said that they were horrible musicians. I just don't like them for that reason.
That's fine.
You have a bad.
I
you
have a respect
bad-
for them.
You have a bad association. We were
Right.
talking about this earlier.
Yes.
you
With the
know?
Beatles.
Yeah, with the Beatles.
Yeah, there's some people that don't like the
Maybe
Beatles
if I
for-
didn't have to hear it 24/7
Yes,
for 5
exactly.
years, I'd
Sure.
probably be okay with it.
Sure. All right there, Mr. Loudini. Our Lord and Savior. Talk to me, Goose. Talk to me.
I don't know. Like,
He doesn't even know.
I don't even fucking know. I mean, there's so many bands that like I want to put in that spot. I want to put Queen in that spot. I want to put Leonard Skinner in that spot.
Oh, man.
I want to put
Emmett Otter.
I want to put Emmett Otter in that. I want to put Kiss in that spot.
Yeah.
This just I want to put Black Sabbath in that spot.
Ooh.
I put Black Sabbath in that spot.
All right.
There it is.
Okay.
The grandfathers, great grandfathers of heavy metal.
Yes.
Sure.
And like pretty much the idea of this heavy thing in music is really starts with them, and it goes off in all kind of directions. I mean, you've got
Yes.
band. Oh, I know. Oh man, I want to change my mind. I can't believe I forgot this band. Oh,
Go
There
ahead.
needs
We
to be
can all- there-
five bands.
No.
I know.
sorry.
Yeah, the other band. Oh, fuck.
We're gonna
we
do
save it
other.
for another
We're
When
gonna
I
do.
say them, you guys are gonna go like.
We're-
It might not be your picks, but you guys will have to say this is a good pick.
Okay.
Pink Floyd.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
For sure.
Pink
Well, there's
Floyd.
going to be other podcasts.
Black.
Yeah.
How
So-
about Black Floyd?
Black Floyd.
Is that a
Pink, Pink Sabbath.
That sounds dirty.
Pink Sabbath.
Andy, I'm Black Floyd.
Hey, baby, let me give you a Pink Sabbath later.
That sounds so vile.
Pink Sabbath. I have a contest. I'll give a Loudini Rock and Roll T-shirt to anybody who can tell me what a Pink Sabbath is and if it's good. If
Oh,
you come
man.
up with
If
a
it
good
grosses
thing,
me out, you win.
so just post in the comments what is a Pink Sabbath, or send me an email or something. I want to know what a
You
pink.
want to know
Tell me what
that
a Pink
is.
Sabbath
Gotta
is.
figure it out.
Maybe we'll make Loudini Rock and Roll Circus T-shirts with a Pink Sabbath.
Nice.
I'm afraid now.
Pink Sabbath. Is that like? I know what the Pink Sabbath is.
Yes.
It's like when you get your period.
I was going to say, is it Sunday Bloody Sunday?
Yeah.
No, it's never really pink.
Oh, this is where we read the disclaimer.
Oh, I have to record that.
the
Remind me, you guys
disclaimer?
text me this week.
Yeah.
I have some other things after. I have some funny ideas for introducing each of you guys.
Oh, okay.
hell.
then.
Yeah, I'm gonna do some funny shit.
There you go.
So this-
Funny shit.
I ran out of time. I was gonna do it tonight. I ran out of time.
All right. I'll text you.
So
All right. Here we go, folks.
okay, podcast. It's of course the Beatles.
Yeah. The
Beatles.
Led Zeppelin.
Yes.
And where are we going?
Well, the Rolling Stones have 2 out of 3, so.
All right, so the
Might as well
Stones
throw
are
it
in
on
there now.
This is where we all
Now
differed.
it comes down. But I'm willing, like I said, Rush, that's just, that's okay. I really like Kiss, but I really like Black Sabbath, too.
What about Pink Floyd?
Ooh, could they sneak in and steal it? Can they?
I'll
We don't
have it.
write the rules.
I mean, like, you could, I mean, it's a toss-up between Sabbath and Floyd.
Wow.
I mean, there really is
I think for this purposes, we should drop Sabbath and put Floyd just because of the genre.
Yes. There it is.
Pink Floyd's.
The Pink Floyd.
Close enough.
Wait a
Wow.
minute.
What?
We don't have one American band.
It's all right.
That's okay.
I think during this era, the British bands were kicking
They were
our ass.
they were totally
Yeah.
taking over.
Yeah, I mean, they were like, this was the biggest thing that happened in music. Well, I mean, it's all right. Isn't that what happens, though? You make up something, you
Look.
throw it out in the world, they throw it back at you, you do something else with it.
Right.
You
Steal
go back
it.
and forth, you know what I mean? Like, that's what was going. But we were playing catch with our brothers across the water.
Let's be honest. I mean, none of us are really from here. At least not here in the podcast tonight. We all came from other places.
Well,
so
I mean, not
we're gonna
really, though. I mean,
that's
when
America.
did you come? When did you come from? You didn't never. Have you ever been to Ireland?
I'm not allowed to talk about it. There's still cases pending.
Look, I understand you're. I'm Italian. Lily is. I don't know what she is, but
How long have we known Lily? She's a girl.
she's the.
Actually, I'm Native American, so I am.
Damn
from
it!
here.
Okay, but you're not really, because even you guys walked across from Asia. So like,
Yeah.
the point is moot. You're you're fucking Americans. Elvis was American. Cause calm down, all right?
Okay.
Johnny Cash
Come on, man.
was American.
Also,
I saw
I'm
the
Slovak, so.
Yeah, Native American Slovak.
There you go.
And
That's
German and Irish.
Perfect.
I'm a whole bunch of
You're a
stuff.
whole.
So
Yes,
The whole
3 of them
family.
actually.
So like it got tossed. It's fun.
Whoa.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Music gets thrown around and different generations pick it up and do something different with it. But these bands are all from roughly the same era, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, legit.
Yeah, they are.
That was the era really of the bands.
Yeah.
That's when it was like if you had a band and like. And there's a lot of peripheral bands around this time that were really big. Like there's a now they would never be on the Mount Rushmore of rock, but like the Dave Clark Five was in competition on the charts in England and in America with songs with the Beatles.
Exactly.
They were contemporaries of the Beatles. So there was, the whole idea of having a band really became a thing at this time. Interesting. So that's for
Yeah.
the Mount Rushmore
Yeah.
of rock. So, you want to do? What do you want to do next? You want to do new and notable?
Sure.
Note and newable.
Sure. My pick is Wednesday 13. They have a new album that came out in October called Horrifier. If you don't know who Wednesday 13 is, he's actually a person, Joseph Michael Poole, who solos, and that's his band name is Wednesday 13. He was also the frontman for the Murder Dolls. He's played in Maniac Spider Trash, Frankenstein Drag Queen, From Planet 13, Bourbon Crow, and Gunfire 76. The new album, though, is it's horror rock, so it's very traditional Wednesday 13 sound. All the tracks are amazing. People are gravitating towards Halfway to the Grave and Good Day to Be a Bad Guy.
Wow.
Good songs.
I like the title. Good Day to Be a Bad Guy.
Yeah.
Good day. to
Fun.
be a-
He's fun. I love Wednesday.
What do you got, Mr. Pittsburgh?
So he's not really new, but he is notable just because of things that have been happening lately. I work with a fellow who loves Motley Crue. And the other day I walked in and he's like, "Did you hear?" I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Mick is retiring."
Yes, I
I'm
know
like,
that.
"Yes, yes." He goes, "What do you know about this, John 5?" I'm like, "You don't know." And Lou, I went off. Remember how I went off about Go Your Own Way? That was nothing. I just was singing John's praises, and I said, "Look, if they're going to
You not
pick
know.
somebody, that's the man to pick." So, no, it's not Mick Mars. It's going to be John 5. Just because I think people are going to become more aware of him. Yes, he's done stints with MerCury. He's done stints with Rob Zombie. But this is Motley fucking Crue. And
This ought to be interesting.
One of
This
the
should
most
be interesting.
irrelevant bands.
shut Lou. Come on.
Now, they were relevant in their era, but they're not relevant.
They're
Yeah.
touring.
You heard them?
Yes, I went to the
Yeah,
show.
She did. But she was drunk. Anyway.
So it doesn't matter.
Yeah. But John, everybody just keep an eye out for John. That's why, like, I was very upset when Michael Jackson died, because Orianthi was going to be his guitar player.
Yeah.
I'm like, now people are going to see her, and then nope, not so much.
No, she got all poppy.
She got all poppy.
She's
But
all right.
Oh, she started dating Richie Sambora.
I saw her. You know how I became aware of her? I saw her on Regis and Kelly.
She played with
really?
Alice Cooper. I saw her live.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
yeah.
She was with the Cooper Pooper.
Yeah.
The Cooper Pooper. Yeah,
She's
so there you
fantastic,
go.
but she got too
yes.
populous.
Yeah, she did very poppy.
We were listening to her. She has a new album out. We were listening to it before you came over.
Yeah, very good.
Boys, man, that just really overproduced, in my opinion. Like, everything's at one level. I can't explain it. Like, there's no like dynamics or anything. It's like she's great. Maybe the songs are okay. It was just it was very polished. I don't know. Anyways, my pick is a guy named Joe Lynn Turner, who was in Rainbow for a while, sang like Stone Cold in those songs.
Yes.
Well, and then he was on an Yngwie project. What's the song? This could be paradise. Building here by my side.
I know this.
Oh yeah.
I know this.
Okay. Yeah.
Anyway, so he was, but he's a great vocalist in the sort of style of like Lou Gramm from Foreigner. He's kind of got that thing going on. Well, he has reinvented himself and he's got a video just came out, I don't know, in the last couple weeks, called Tortured Soul. I put a link to it in the show notes.
I enjoy the name.
And you should check it out. He does not sound like he did in the 80s, the 70s and 80s.
Okay.
But he sounds good. He's like reinvented what he does vocally, like that, and so like kind of like Robert Plant has done. And the song is dark and like weird and like it definitely does not sound like he's trying to recapture his glory. It really sounds like he's trying to do something new.
I'm here
and different.
now.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
So like he knows that was then, this is now. Check it out. I posted it in the group too earlier. You guys should give it a listen. I'm interested what you think about it.
All right.
Sounds like my flavor.
Delicious.
Flavor Flav.
What?
Flavor Flav. What I'm saying.
Not so much, but Tortured Soul.
Okay. Yeah.
So, moments in YouTube. Just got uploaded a couple days ago. I believe it was a Halloween show because they're all wearing weird clothes. Billy Strings, who is known as this amazing acoustic flat picker, just like can pick the shit out of an acoustic guitar, and he writes these really cool, folky, Americana kind of songs that are all excellent, like really memorable. So he's known for that kind of thing. But there's a video of him in his band doing War Pigs.
Oh.
And it's funny. He's dressed as a girl. He's got picked. It's funny. There was obviously some kind of Halloween.
Yeah.
Sure.
The bass player had like a wizard's outfit. Like, they were all doing something like that. But it's cute. Now, I want to talk to. I specifically want Lily's input on this. There is a video out. Judas Priest at the Rock Hall. They got inducted.
Yes, I knew that.
Yes.
And there's a performance that you can watch on YouTube.
Yes.
Okay. Did you see it?
Which one are you talking about?
It's like they do like a little medley.
Okay, I did not see that. I
And
saw
it's from
something
way,
else.
it's from somebody's cell phone or something.
Way in the
Okay,
back.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's not an official release because the thing doesn't really get released until next year is when they release it.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
So, did you say? I mean, what did you think?
I didn't see this particular performance. I'll have to look it up. But I saw him sing Jolene with Dolly Parton, which was kind of a cool thing to see. So, I mean, everybody was singing it, but to see him in all leather next to Dolly in all leather was kind of freaking cool.
I saw the picture of them two together. I did
Yeah.
not see what they sang.
It was cool.
I don't know what I thought of it. I thought that I'm just because
Go
Rob
ahead.
Halford's one of my favorite singers of all time, but I was just like a little concerned for him during this performance. Maybe it's just
Was
me.
he not giving it all?
No, he just I don't know what.
I'll have to watch
I
it.
want to say I hate to say that. Well, he's old. I hate saying
he
that.
is.
Well, he is old, but I hate to
Yeah.
say that. I like to think. Can I just have my fantasy world, please?
Right.
Why does everybody insist I face fucking reality? One of my mottos is never face reality. I was thinking
like
about
that.
like all my mottos
Yeah.
this week. One of them is never face reality.
Mm-hmm.
Have a good time all the time.
That's a good one.
I don't believe in the no-win scenario. There's a few like
Yes,
that.
yes.
But that is one of them. I never face reality. And I would just like to think maybe he had a cold. Maybe the monitors were bad, or you really, so just leave it.
Also, it's a cell phone. So
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's an article from that bastion of journalistic integrity, the foundation of true,
Yes.
objective
Yes.
his
journalism.
Right.
Judas
right.
Judas Priest.
Judas Priest
Rolling
themselves.
Stone.
Oh,
Rolling Stone
It's
magazine.
his favorite.
Yeah.
This is I think that if it's in Rolling Stone, like they wouldn't put it in Rolling Stone, like
If it wasn't true.
they wouldn't put it in a comic book if it wasn't true. In the words of Jethro, what was his name? Jethro Bodine.
Bodine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Said, they wouldn't put in a comic book if it wasn't true, Ellie Mae. Judas Priest marked their long-awaited induction to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with a surprise performance of 3 of their most beloved songs on Saturday. Despite years of estrangement and sharp barbs in the press, the quintet, in their signature leather studs and metal chains, welcomed original guitarist K.K. Downing and former drummer Les Binks for likely the loudest performance of the night. The group is one of only a handful of heavy metal bands to claw their way into the institution. Now, there's all kind of I'll put this in the show notes. You can read it. You get into a lot of details about. Glenn Tipton has been battling Parkinson's disease. I would think that would make you play faster.
Wow.
Oh.
Your vibrato would get good. Wow. You'd have that. You know who has Parkinson's vibrato? Is Angus Young. You ever listen to his vibrato?
Yeah.
It's like,
You're like, wow. Yeah.
it's like he's
Yes.
got like speed vibrato.
You're like, awesome, dude.
I'm the gay guy in the band, said Rob Halford, taking the mic
There you
to end Priest's speech. We call ourselves the heavy metal community, which is all inclusive, no matter what your sexual identity is, what you look like, or what you believe in or don't believe in. Everybody's welcome.
There you go. Perfect. That's beautiful. Thanks, Rob.
It don't bring a tear to my eye.
Oh, Rob.
So, they mentioned that this was the loudest performance of the night.
Yes.
And this is directed, again, primarily at Lily.
Oh.
But I distinctly remember going to rock concerts, and you could not talk
Right.
to the person
Oh, for sure.
next to you. And you would have to, like, really yell in
Scream.
their ear.
Mm-hmm.
Like this.
Exactly. But the concerts I've been to in the last 5, maybe even 10 years, even doesn't matter. Big rooms, small rooms, whatever. We could sit there and have a conversation. When we did our 4th of July podcast, where we talked about the things the factors that change that cause rock to not be what it once was. I think one of the issues is this idea of where's the fucking volume?
Yeah.
Pump up the goddamn volume.
That's
I mean,
true.
Yeah.
rock is one of the things that makes rock is it's kind of in your face. You can't if you can go to a concert and you can talk, it's not loud enough.
Right.
You shouldn't be talking. You should be interacting and being absorbed by the music. End of fucking story. If you want to talk, go outside. It's like church. You don't fucking talking in church until the priest said time. Talk. You can talk at the end of when you clap. That was great, wasn't it? I love that song. That's fine. Just wrong.
Yeah, I saw an AC/DC guy. It was around the time that Money Talks came out, right? It was down at Civic Arena. Civic Arena was still around, and they were so loud. There was a problem with the PA where the sound would cut out, like just cut out, and you literally went forward because it was pushed. Like the sound was almost pushing,
wow.
and it happened a couple
That's
of
right.
times.
Now that's
It
fucking
happened,
rock and roll.
and everybody in my
AC/DC, of
like
course.
after the concert, like, did you feel that? I'm like, yes. And like maybe after a good concert, you have trouble hearing for like a day or two.
Yeah.
No, it was a week. I'm not kidding you. It was a week after that.
But how long ago? That was a long time.
That was a long time ago. Yeah, that was like in
ago.
the 90s.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't been to. Okay, there was the last concert, but this was a long time ago. That was like that. Was Velvet Revolver.
Oh,
And it was an outdoor show under that tent. The icy light
Oh,
tent.
okay.
And
Wow,
it was
that's
still
good.
like blindingly loud.
Super
And it
loud.
was one of the best fucking concerts
Yeah.
I ever went to. And you could not talk. You had to literally go way to the back.
Yeah.
If you wanted to talk.
And-
like there was no, if you wanted to drink or something, you'd like write it down and hand it to them.
Right.
They would never hear you.
When I go to a Quiet Riot show and I have to tell you to shut the fuck up behind me because I'm trying to listen to the show, that's a whole problem.
That's a problem.
We have problems in music, and this is
Yeah.
one of them.
Yeah.
Right, you can't have rock and roll supposed to be loud in your face, like piss your parents off.
yeah.
When I was doing interviews, I'm just gonna say this, and all you guys out of interviews, I loved each and every one. You guys are super talented, but all your music, my parents would like.
Yeah.
Where are the like? Where's like the
Obnoxious.
really fucking rock and roll?
Kick you in the
Where are the
head.
guys that, even if you don't want to call yourselves rock and roll because you think that sounds like dad music or whatever? Where's like the edgy, like in your face, so loud that like I can't fucking hear what's going on? You know, like
Right.
like Kevin said, you can't hear for the next every concert. Even when we went to Christian rock concerts,
Right. We couldn't hear for
yeah,
a
you
good
know
day
what I
or
mean?
so
Like,
after that.
I mean, that was the standard,
wow,
and that's
man.
what you totally absorbed into the music. You couldn't talk. You shouldn't
Yeah.
be talking. I get pissed when when I was playing in cover bands and people would say, "Hey, we're trying to talk." I'm like,
Shut the.
"Yeah."
Go outside.
Yeah.
It's like, and club owners do turn down.
They can turn down a little
Oh,
bit.
Okay,
yeah.
wait a minute. I could have saved you all trouble. You just should have put a boom box in the corner,
Right.
Right.
and just been done with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because that's what you really want.
Wow.
So rant over on that, but come on, rock
Yeah.
has to be loud. If it ain't loud, if it's too loud, you're too old, or maybe you're too young.
Yeah.
That could be a thing.
Could be it.
You have them fucking Gen Z ears, pussy ears.
Oh.
All right, pussy ears. So I want to say one thing before we
Yes.
get into this day and what the Beatles did.
Yes.
We are recording this on November 7th. November 8th is Erection Day.
Well, thank you.
And I'll have an erection all day, I promise you.
Magic.
Magic. I will be wearing a condom though.
Oh, thank you.
I don't want anybody to get nervous.
Safe.
Thank goodness.
Safe democracy.
Safe democracy. I want to tell everybody out there this to please keep this in mind,
yes.
that I would never tell you how to vote ever. And if you like the elephant or you like the donkey, that is completely up to you. More power to you. And if you enjoy voting and it's fun or you like the whole process, that's totally fine. But I want you to just keep this in mind when you go in there. Neither one of those guys, the guy you like and the guy you don't like, neither one of them give a flying fuck about you.
Right.
They don't. They're not there. They're not running for you. They're running because it's a career move. You know, they're running because they want to have some power. They're thinking like they're making moves. They're thinking like, oh, I'll get into office and I can massage this into this and I can do this and this and I can, set myself up for life and make sure my kids go to this and all. That's what they're doing. They don't care nothing about anything that's going to make my life or your life better. It doesn't matter which one. Okay? So just that's fine. If you want to go and vote, please go and enjoy yourself. But just please, understand what you're participating in.
on.
Yes,
Yeah.
please, okay? Because I think everybody's lost their mind, and I'm really ready for us to all get back to chilling out. And whether you like the donkey or you like the elephant, it shouldn't fucking matter. Like it should never be a thing where people can't get along.
Right.
And when you do see something ugly, all the more reason to talk about it because that's how we figure it out. And Kevin, you remember when Geraldo had the KKK or the white supremacists on
Yes.
or whatever? But what you know what happened? You know what the fallout was? Everybody saw how ugly that was.
Exactly.
And nobody wanted anything to do with it.
Exactly.
And that was the lowest membership to those type of organizations in the history
Right.
of those things. Because it was openly, he didn't bring them on there to yell at them. he honestly for
expose them.
he wanted them to say,
Yeah.
you know, and that's how you do. You let your opposition kind of hang themselves, and you know, we're missing something here, guys. So chill out, have a good time tomorrow, but just know what the hell's going on.
And Lou, you and I have discussed this, and I actually posted it this week. I think Americans have forgotten the fact that it's okay to disagree. It's okay to disagree. We're not going to agree all the time.
That's fine. That's totally fine. But you know, we can disagree. But I'm obviously right and you're wrong. So
I disagree.
what did my buddy Gary Matassa used to say? That might be your opinion, but you're completely wrong.
Lovely.
So, anyways,
All right.
well, we're gonna go ahead and talk about one more time if you can stand it, because it's been like all Beatles all night.
Yeah.
But I have some fun stuff to tell you guys when we're done with this.
Okay.
Today is November 7th,
Correct as usual, King Friday.
and the King
boy.
Friday.
King Friday. You are
I'm
right.
King Loudini.
Right, you
I'm
are
the-
King Friday. Ho!
King Louie.
Okay.
I forgot I didn't have sound effects.
I
today.
know, the whole night. There you go.
Okay, on this day in 1951, Frank Sinatra married his second wife, actress Ava Gardner.
Oh, sexy.
The couple split up in 1953.
Sure.
That didn't last long. And divorced in 57. Sinatra was married 3 other times to his first wife, Nancy Barbato, to
Yeah.
the actress Mia Farrow, and
Oh.
finally, Barbara Marx, to whom he was married at his death.
Interesting.
Was Barbara Marx a relation to Groucho Marx?
No clue.
Groucho? No, Richard Marx.
She was Richard Marx. I keep seeing that being Richard
Grandmother.
Marx's grandmother.
Yeah.
But I would wonder if that might be Groucho Marx's daughter or
I
something.
wonder.
Yeah,
Kids?
because there was that era.
1958, Eddie Cochran made his UK chart debut. Why?
Sorry.
With Summertime Blues.
I had a panic about the recording.
It reached number 18 in the UK and number 8 in the US. The song had been covered by many artists, including being a number 1 hit for country music artist Alan Jackson and a notable hit for the English rock band The Who.
Who?
Yes.
Yes. Very good.
My first exposure to Summertime Blues was the Who's version.
Yes.
DVE played it all the time.
Exactly.
You know, Michelle would play it on the
Hey,
line.
Michelle. You didn't
You
put
get-
that on for me. Summertime Blues.
Yeah. Hey, Michelle, can you get some
The
Who
Who.
on Summertime
The Who.
Blues for lunch?
Actually. On this day, 1963, the Beatles, yes, went to Ireland to make their only 2 appearances ever in the country, playing 2 shows at the Adelphi Cinema in Dublin. The group hooked up with screenwriter, what is that,
Alan.
Owen.
Owen.
Omen. Sorry, Mia Farrow. Rosemary's Baby, all that shit. Who had been appointed to write the screenplay for the Beatles' first, as of yet, untitled motion picture. Owen spent 3 days with the Beatles observing their hectic lifestyle. Oh my.
They got a lot of gas and indigestion because their lifestyle. was-
Apparently, it's
I get
so
it.
hectic.
I get it.
Yes,
Poor
yes.
Beatles. So bad for the Beatles.
I do feel bad for them.
This day in 1967, the Beatles finished recording Blue Jay Way, Flying, and Magical Mystery Tour. Roll up! The Beatles have only 6 songs, not enough for an album, so decided to issue a double EP. Capitol Records didn't think the double EP format would be acceptable for the U.S. market, so they decided to put out an album instead. The 6 Magical Mystery Tour songs with 5 of the 6 songs from the Beatles' 1967 singles went on 2 sides.
Interesting.
1967, Elton John and his songwriting partner Bernie Taupin signed to DJM Publishing. Their signatures had to be witnessed by their parents because they were both under 21 years of age. Taupin answered an advertisement for a lyric writer placed in the New Musical Express. The pair have since collaborated on over 30 albums.
Yeah.
That's
Great
one of the
song.
great collaborations
Yes,
in
for
rock,
sure.
of course.
Yes.
There's your boys.
All right, get ready.
And this boy, too. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll get ready, Lou. On this day in 1969, dudes, the Rolling Stones kicked off their sixth North American tour at Fort Collins State University, Colorado. Thanks, buddy. Also on the bill was Ike and Tina Turner, a little fella by the name of Chuck Berry, and B.B. King. Oh my.
Sweaty Teddy, the Motor City Madman. 1974, Ted Nugent won a national squirrel shooting contest after picking up a squirrel at 150 yards.
Wow.
The guitarist, I won't call him heavy metal guitarist. The guitarist also shot dead 27 other mammals during the 3-day event.
That's good eating.
Go, Teddy!
There you go.
To the Ted man. We got to do a podcast on the Ted story.
Oh my gosh.
1975, Elton John started a 3-week run at #1 on the U.S. album chart with Rock of the Westies. The singer's 10th studio album and 7th U.S. #1 contained the U.S. #1 and number 14 UK single Island Girl, which was released prior to the album. I do like that song.
Very good. On this day, 1975, a new world record was set for continuous guitar string plucking by Steve Anderson, who played for 114 hours, 17 minutes. Steve, you wild man!
Would that hurt?
Yeah, it'd
I
be
would
like
think so.
he's bucking for tendonitis or
Yeah.
something, doing that shit. That guy's fucked up.
Wow. Yep, that sucks.
Oh, 1981, Hall & Oates started a 2-week run at #1 on the U.S. singles charts with Private Eyes to do his third U.S. #1 and #2 hit in the U.K. This is on my playlist. It works.
It's on your list? Your list.
Absolutely. I have trained YouTube to have
Thanks,
I have all these
Louie.
different lists.
Thanks,
and
Louie.
I've got a mix with this like perfect. It's got Hall & Oates and just all those kind of awesome bands from that era, Genesis and stuff like that. Fun stuff.
Tiffany became the youngest act 1987 to score a U.S. #1 since Michael Jackson with "I Think We're Alone Now." The song was written by Richie Cordell was initially a 1967 hit for Tommy James and the Shondells, and I have both versions on my iPod.
Wow. Interesting. On this...
Go ahead. Speaking of Tommy James and the Shondells,
Yes.
I fell in love with the song Crimson and Clover
that song.
Yes.
because of Joan
Joan
Jett.
Jett.
Thank you, Joan.
But Tommy James, it's great.
It's
Like,
a great song.
version.
Yeah.
But she got me into it. But
Yes.
Go ahead.
All right, this day, 1987, Bruce Springsteen went to #1 on the U.S. album chart with Tunnel of Love. His 8th studio album went triple platinum in the U.S., with Brilliant Disguise being one of his biggest hit singles, peaking at #5 on the Billboard Hot 100.
Did we do a podcast on super famous songs that actually never made the charts or were never like #1 hits?
I don't
I
think
think
we
that would
went
be
that
fun.
way.
I'm looking for one more. I need one more topic for this month, and maybe that'll be it. In 1991, rhythm guitarist Izzy Stradlin quit Guns N' Roses and was replaced by guitarist Gilby Clarke. I played a show with Gilby. He used my amp and said he didn't like it. Stradlin cited a combination of Axl Rose's personal behavior and the difference of being around Slash, Matt Sorum, and Duff McKagan. Basically because he was sober and the rest
They
of them
weren't.
were flying high again.
Do you want me to read Jerry?
Jerry!
1999.
Jerry!
Jerry
Oh,
Halliwell went to
jeez.
#1 on the UK singles chart with Lift Me Up, beating former colleague Emma Bunton's single, which entered the chart at #2. Sales of Jerry's single were helped by front page press reports about her dating Chris Evans. These are both Spice Girls, if nobody knows.
Oh.
Spice Boys.
My
Let's start the
God.
Spice Boys.
Oh, there you go. On this day, 2002, Whitney Houston's husband, Bobby Brown, was arrested and charged with possession of marijuana, speeding, driving without a license, and having no proof of insurance after he was stopped by the police in Atlanta City.
And it was only because he was black.
That's white. That's white. Oh, jeez.
Wow.
That was funny.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, you said it. Yep. Oh my.
I'm going to start doing what they
That
do
one
on
too.
Tool Time and holding up the address where they can rate the two of you whenever you say stuff like that.
That's a good idea.
Did you see? I can't remember which stand-up comedian it is. Before he starts, he reads his apology before.
Right,
he
right,
starts.
right.
I can't
Yeah.
remember his.
I know. I
Doug
can't think of his
Stanhope.
name.
It's Doug Stanhope.
Is it?
Yeah, it's fucking. It's on.
Like
It's
to
on.
make an
It's on
apology.
TikTok. It's funny as fuck. He just reads the whole thing. Like at first, you're like, okay, and then
Oh, did he say something before?
and
Then he
goes- and
realized
then you start laughing, and
It's about
funny.
tonight's performance.
Yeah.
Exactly.
2002, 12 Guns N' Roses fans were arrested during a riot after a gig in Vancouver was canceled. Promoters pulled the gig after Axl Rose's flight from Los Angeles
Well,
was
there's nothing you
delayed.
can do about that. Jesus Christy.
Can we keep going?
Sure, why not? We'll do a couple more.
Elton-
These are rock people.
2004, Elton John turned the air blue live on BBC Radio 1 using the words "fucking."
Wank.
Is that what that's supposed
I
to
don't
be?
know. they,
Whatever that is.
they've
And
blended
Tits.
it. Tits,
the
Tits
singer
are-
was a guest on Chris Moyle's Radio 1 breakfast show in the
Fucking
UK.
wanky tits.
I thought they were pretty liberal over there about that stuff.
Apparently
I thought.
not.
I mean, they
I guess it
say
depends.
fuck on network television now.
Yeah.
Fucking
You know,
hell.
so I mean, I didn't even think it was. Well, this is 2004. Maybe we weren't there yet.
It's gonna be wank.
Wank. What a wanker.
Yeah, I can't think of
What you got? You want to talk
anything
about Lincoln Park?
else. No, it's not about
A woman
them.
died and 19 others were injured after scaffolding collapsed outside a Lincoln Park
Like
concert
if they died,
in Cape Town.
then it would be an interesting story.
Wow. Wow.
Folks, why don't you say that? All right.
Australian drummer of
here we
AC/DC
go.
Phil Rudd, charged with attempting to arrange a murder,
Right.
dropped in New Zealand. He was still facing charges of drug possession. Whose murder was he trying to arrange?
I don't know.
I forget.
I mean, if it was his wife, like you can't blame him.
Right.
That
see, that
should
story-
automatically be like when you
Right.
go to court for that, and the judge hears it's your wife. It should be okay. Just don't carry it out. Don't do it again. All right, but we understand.
I don't agree, but I understand.
2014, two wealthy fans paid $300,000 to eat lasagna with Bruce Springsteen because they're brain dead. Springsteen started off the annual Stand Up for Heroes event by playing an acoustic set, then offering the instrument to the highest bidder.
Oh.
When bidding reached $60,000, he threw in the guitar lesson. When someone offered $250,000, at this point he offered up lasagna dinner at his house, a ride around the block in the sidecar of his motorbike, and the shirt off his back. All the money went to the Bob Woodruff Foundation, which helps injured servicemen and their families when they return home. That's fine, but still dumb.
That's yeah, but it was Stouffer's. It was a Stouffer's lasagna that he just heated up in the microwave. But the
was
Bruce
hilarious.
Springsteen's not that nice.
That's hilarious.
What am I gonna do here? These guys.
That's hilarious. That if you
See
went
what
to his
happened in the
house
fridge.
and you sat down in the kitchen and he put like a Stouffer's.
Hungry man.
Hey, dinner's ready.
Can we get a homemade one?
I ever tell you about that time I
Yeah,
opened
right.
for Chuck Berry or
Yeah, that's right. By the time he's done with the story, the stove, you got to throw it back in the microwave. 'Cause It's cold. It's like, Bruce, it's a little cold. Oh, while it's cooking, let me tell you a little story here.
America's storyteller.
America's storyteller.
I will admit, like I think he's lost his mind. I think he's screwy in the head.
What?
But that thing where he was on Broadway or whatever, and he told the stories about his song was actually really good, and he was funny, like, and especially when he got to Blinded by the Light.
Oh boy,
He talked about that, and like he was really funny. Like he was really, it was people were like, he was the way he handled it. I had to give him credit. Like he did a good job. You guys know who Leonard Cohen is?
Of course we do.
Yes, singer. Wrote the song that what's the song that Jeff Buckley
Oh, Hallelujah.
Hallelujah,
Yeah.
which everybody has done, but passed away, age of 82. God, we had a good run, 82,
he
not
did.
bad.
That's a good run.
Penty Gland died of lung cancer, best known for his work with Alice Cooper as a drummer.
Oh my.
Bones Hillman, sorry Bones,
Not to be.
the bassist for the Australian alternative rock band Midnight Oil, died from cancer at the age of 62 of this day in 2020. You mean he didn't die from COVID? It must have been COVID. That's a misprint.
COVID
You have to change that.
cancer.
COVID-induced
Well, wasn't
cancer.
everything COVID?
Everything COVIDy. It's quite COVIDy. Let's do some birthdays.
Mary Travers, singer-songwriter from American folk group Peter, Paul, and Mary, born this day in 1937. Wow, she ancient. Johnny Rivers, born this day in 1942 from the poor side of town. A lot of bunches.
And there she is. There she is.
Joni Mitchell,
Yeah.
Canadian singer-songwriter, Big Yellow Taxi, a bunch of songs. Born this day in 1943. Ray Randall, bass guitarist from the Tornadoes. Happy birthday, 44. Steve Burton, American musician Steve Burton. Such artists with T-Bone Burnett, Bonnie Raitt. One of these sort of like Americana-esque kind of guys.
Yes.
Born this day in 1948. Kevin MacDonald, guitarist for English rock band Cutting Crew. Happy birthday. Robin Beck, singer.
Yes.
Number one song, First Time. Song was taken from a TV advertisement. As backing singer, Beck worked with Melissa Manchester, Chaka Khan, and Leo Sayer. Wow. Those are all names I have. Well, Chaka Khan, but Leo Sayer and Melissa Manchester. Wow.
Oldies but goodies.
1957, John Jellybean Benitez, producer of DJ Club Remixer. Happy birthday.
I know.
Tommy Thayer, lead
Ah.
guitarist, took over for Ace Frehley in Kiss.
Yeah, happy birthday, Tommy.
Became lead guitarist for Kiss in 2002. Clint.
No, Clint. There's
I
an L.
know, I'm
N.
being a dick.
Come on.
I was born an asshole and I
Yeah,
worked at it
that's
my
right. Very
whole
good.
life. Happy birthday, Clint. Liam something or another.
Oh, wow.
Happy birthday from Hot
To
House
Liam.
Flowers. Charlene Spiteri, singer-songwriter, Scottish pop band, Texas. So it's a the Scottish pop band, they're called Texas?
Yep.
What?
Okay,
That's
sure, why
ludicrous.
not? Yeah. Robin Fink, guitarist with Nine Inch Nails. Happy birthday.
Sure.
And I think we are about, we're about good on the birthdays.
Did you know that? Did you know that the Lord's last name was that?
Who's that?
Lord. Have you heard of Lord?
No.
The singer? You really haven't?
No.
Okay. We're apparently, her, Sinead, and I are all related.
Okay.
Wow, nice. Wow. Because I know, like, in
Lord.
Italy,
Oh,
Lombardi is like Smith.
Hey, Lombardi. Which one?
Exactly.
Which one?
Oh, my God.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, yeah, well, let's take a quick peek at this, because this is always a fun time.
Yes.
Brings
Top 40 It brings back memories for all of us. Pick a year and a year.
Weekly.
Pick a decade.
Where we want to go? Where do you want to go? You want to go 70s, 80s, 90s, 60s? What do you want to do?
You pick, Wills.
1994.
1994.
94?
All right.
I'm going to see how angry I get.
Oh, boy. There we go. All right, so
Ready for it.
November
Hold on,
7th.
We have to get to the
Scroll it down there, baby.
November-ish.
There you
So,
go.
like,
That's good.
5th,
do
maybe?
that
Yeah, let's
one.
do that
That's
one.
fine. Here we go. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
That's
Oh
why I
my
picked
God.
it.
Why
Well,
do you
why
hate
don't
us?
you go ahead and talk about it?
All right. So these are all songs that came out when I had no friends in school because this is what they listened to.
Wow.
At Your Best by Aaliyah.
Oh, Lord.
Endless Love. Well, that was a good one though.
Luther Vandross. Wow, are you
Mariah
kidding?
Carey.
Luther Vandross and Mariah Carey,
right.
two like the greatest singers ever. But God.
Want to Be Down by Brandy. Never Lie by Immature.
Oh, dude, Brandy. She here's Brandy does. She kind of pulled a Hannah Montana before Hannah Montana. She came out as like this cute little girl, and then she fucking releases this
Hottie
video
Hot.
where she's the one where she's in the satin pants.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
Holy shit, man.
Oh,
Always by Bon Jovi.
That was a pitch the tent in my pants for every time.
Bon
pitch a
Jovi, huh?
tent.
Here Comes the Hot Stepper by Ina Kamoze.
Oh yeah, here come the hot step up.
Yeah.
no
Another
idea.
Night by Real McCoy.
No,
Secret by Madonna.
maybe.
All I Want to Do, Sheryl Crow.
I like that song.
Oh, okay, there you go. All right, I know that one. I know 1 out of the 10.
I'll
That's
Make
great.
Love to You,
I'll
Boys
make
to Men.
love
No,
to you.
no, stop
like you.
No, stop it, please. Wow. No wonder I didn't listen to music in the 90s.
Real
I'm
legit.
sorry.
I'll Stand By You by the Pretenders was
Yeah,
number
That's
20.
a good
Okay.
song.
All right, we'll give them that.
Far Behind, Candlebox.
Okay. There you go.
Oh,
There's-
what's the
there's some
frequency,
rock.
Kenneth? I do remember that. REM.
Rem. Don't turn. Amy Grant had a song.
There's a couple of
yeah.
little.
Sure.
Dead Eye
good ones
Dick,
here.
New Age Girl. Nobody
Oh,
remembers
my
the song.
gosh.
It's a really fun song. It didn't
Yeah.
really do much. I think it was at number 40.
Yeah, I remember that.
I remember that song.
Come to My Window by Melissa Etheridge
Oh,
just
yeah.
came on. Just started coming onto the charts.
Not a
Eagles.
Get Over It by the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. This week's Black Coffee by Heavy D and the Boys debuted. Be Happy by Mary J. Blige. I See It Now by Tracy Lawrence. C.C.
1994.
Pennison, Hit by Love. All popped
I
up.
forgot about that decade. I really did. I
Well,
was
there's a
married.
reason.
I was married during that decade. That's why a lot of this.
There were a couple gems in there.
Yeah.
Not many.
Oh, man.
Wild Night by John
John
Mellencamp
Cougar?
and Michelle
Yeah.
DiGicello
Yes,
was
yes.
number
That was
17.
I was
That was
obsessed
pretty
with that
good.
song for a long time.
Gloria Stefan's it's probably her last hit. She did a version of Turn the Beat Around.
I like that. I like both versions.
Yeah, that band was a kick-ass band.
Mhm.
Though. I mean,
oh my
like
God.
I preferred Sade over Gloria Stefan, but okay.
I'm laughing at so many of these.
Yeah.
These are what played at my dances.
Wait a minute.
Hold on now.
December 63. That came out like way before that. That came out. That's like
Was it? It was re-released or something.
maybe it was
Something
re-released.
like
maybe
that.
It was
Oh,
on
yeah,
a
that-
movie or something.
It might have been, but it was out during the 70s. Yeah.
That was their last big single.
Yeah,
was
yeah.
December 63.
These are the songs that played at my middle school dances.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Okay, so that was our podcast for today.
Yeah.
RockRageRadio.com. Go download the app. It's free, and you can hear great shows like Hot Licks with Lily Von Six.
Which is on Thursdays at 6 p.m. Eastern
Yes.
Time till 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Rock Rage Radio. It's free.
Get
Go
it,
get the app, blah,
666.
blah, blah.
Also, Wolf's Customs
Wolfie.
online. We'll find them on social media and
That's
get custom artwork on your musical instrument. LoudiniRockandRollCircus.com. Please go there because you become part of our inner circle group where I've been doing a lot of live videos. I've been doing almost one a day.
Almost.
Almost
Yeah, I've
one
noticed
a day.
that. I saw
So-
that.
So you get to access to all kind of fun stuff like that. And there's all kind of information about past podcasts and our YouTube archives and things like that. So you can check that out at LoudiniRockandRollCircus.com. Now, it's time for a sneak preview of next week's podcast.
Ooh, boy. Talk to me.
So next week's podcast, we have the only other genre of music, that might be hated as much, and despised as much, and maligned as much as hair metal, is Southern rock. And so next week, we are going to talk about, ready?
Yeah.
Leonard Skinner's Second Helping.
All right. I
All
can
right,
dig it.
then.
Good. It's a good album.
Okay.
And it contains their highest their highest charting song, "Sweet Home Alabama." It opens the album. I was inspired. I was hiking over in Boyce Park on Saturday, and anyways, I was listening to just kind of chilling out, listening to let Spotify play whatever, and "Sweet Home Alabama" came on, and I was about to click it off. I was like, I've heard this a million times. I like "Sweet Home Alabama," and then I heard the guitar. I'm like, man, that's a good guitar sound.
Yeah.
And then I just kind of got sucked in, and what people forgot about that song is these amazing background vocals. The bass and drums are like super laid back, but just Kev, I think there's like 3 guitar solos.
Yeah.
They're all amazing. It's really cool. But anyway, so that kind of inspired me for that. Now the end of the month, the 28th, maybe we will do the thing. 10 songs you might be surprised if we're never
Right.
singles or something.
There you go.
But the week after.
Oh.
That followed the album.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah. I'm ready.
Why does it have to be maniacal?
It's because it's Loudini.
Wait a minute, I need the right sound effect.
Okay.
That's
That
good.
is not
Good is
the
good
right
enough.
sound.
Oh, boy.
You ready? I'm
Yeah.
ready. Sting
Okay.
versus everyone. No. Sting versus Paul McCartney.
Ooh,
Think about it.
Wow.
Think about it.
Okay.
I think that Sting
Yeah.
looked at Paul's career and said, I'm doing that. If you look at their career trajectories, very,
Very similar. Yes,
both in
yes.
highly influential, massive bands. Both broke off, had solo projects that
Yep.
were like really successful.
All right.
Both very respected as bassists.
Yes.
So we're gonna have
Okay.
some fun. Sting versus Paul McCartney. Comparing when we say versus, we just mean
Right,
like
it's
compare and
compare. We're
contrast.
not-
We can't say that.
Punch him in the head.
Yeah, that'd be hilarious.
I mean-
what was it? What was this Cartoon Network show where they would have claymation
Death
guys?
match.
Yeah,
The death match. Yeah.
Oh, Celebrity Deathmatch.
Celebrity. That's it.
Those were great.
I think it was MTV, wasn't it?
We need.
think
to
it
bring,
was.
We need to bring that back. So next week, Leonard Skinner. The week after, Sting versus Paul McCartney. All right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. And we'll catch you all on the next Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. And there's no music out, so la 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 la.